I get all my information.
Yeah. Well, I noticed because you always like them before me. I get to like whatever gains or whatever the lifting ones are. You've already liked it. I'm like,
God damn, this dude lives on Instagram.
Matt never leaves Instagram. And
No, it's always on.
It is.
You have
it's
to
wild.
know. I know who my friends are usually because I'll see like really bad memes that are really like I can't repost, and they'll be like, Matt liked it.
Yep.
Or it's like Rua liked it. I'm like, this isn't even about fitness. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, I like this guy. This is good.
Matt has a really dark side. I'll see him like things on the gain side. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, why are you liking that one? Don't judge me, bro.
Please tell me you have a whole backlog of podcasts recorded.
we've got you guys are number 2.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That makes us feel special, but it's probably just because I booked it early.
You booked it earlier than
Yes.
some of the other people, which is totally cool.
Yes, we have 2 more. 1 more this week, and then I think 2 next week. No, just 1 next week, and then a couple the week after.
You bringing Cass to talk about masks?
Should I stop recording?
What? I'll leave that in. He'll be like, you don't understand. This is how the scapula moves.
He's gonna be like, you're just not smart enough to know what a mask is like.
I am waiting on his video though. Like I saw your skeleton. I'm like, I can't wait for Cass to try not to be condescending and make this video about the scapula and not hurt anyone's feelings. And he's totally
There's lots of feelings that are going to be hurt.
Does he care about hurting
No.
feelings though? Because I my personal conversations with him, I get the impression he doesn't.
I don't think he knows what. Are you recording?
yes.
Yes, this is being recorded.
I think Cass has feelings, to be honest.
I think after the fact he comes in and goes, "Oh, was that bad?"
Whoops.
He's like, what do you think about this team? And I'm like, well, I think that I would have said it differently, but but I don't know what you were saying because I'm not very smart. So
There were a lot of big words and a lot of fingers being pointed. That's what I out of this one. Yeah.
the point is, I think people are still going to bench with their scapulas locked.
Oh yeah, they definitely are.
You can't convince anyone of that. That's not the right way. Like,
Well, because the other argument is I benched 200 kilos. Did you bench 200 kilos? No, I didn't think so.
no,
And
I
it-
benched, that's how many kilos. I hope you did your research on your guests. That's what I benched.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dean.
it is.
Dean. For those of you guys who don't know, Dean benched 200 kilos.
I did that in pounds for anyone
Yes.
listening.
Which is
4 pounds.
Which is
freedom
better
units.
because it's American,
It's
Yes,
American
it's true.
freedom units.
That's
not
true.
communist.
It is
Yeah.
American made.
Well, as you're recording this right now, your White House is being pillaged, and I'm sitting
Well,
here in
not the
Canada.
White House. It's the Capitol. Totally
Whatever,
different.
it's still the same
Obviously,
fucking
not as big a deal.
The whole city's basically going to be on fire by the end of this episode anyway. So
Yeah.
If we can actually release it, you all have to leave.
this will be released from Canada.
yeah, exactly.
So Dean, do you have like extra room by your boat, like in the garage or something, if we need to camp out?
No, I had to have a whole different storage facility for it.
Gotcha.
We're gonna redo our garage in a couple of years, but
I hear that you got all kinds of real estate in Canada, apparently.
yeah, well, I get
Yeah.
paid in American, so I'm rich.
That's true.
That is true.
That's true. You do get paid in American money.
So I'm getting. We talk about them storming the Capitol. My dollar value is declining every week. It seems.
dropping like a stone.
Yeah.
I keep getting demoted. Like my
Yes.
But
Very-
my stocks are still going to do great.
yeah.
Very, very soon you're going to be sitting on a lot of American dollars that can buy you like 1 tomato in the United States.
Did you say doll hairs?
Doll hairs, yes. It's about the same value. It's pretty much the same worth.
I don't know. Are you actually recording this? Are we-
Yes, this is actually being recorded.
Yeah, this is
I'm-
prime fitness talk.
What's
I'm
your
probably going
podcast
to edit this
about?
stuff out, but
What's your podcast about then? Like, because it's like you've already done one, so that'll be the first one.
Well, we did our first one with David Gray, who is very serious and
Yes.
talked about a lot of very good fitness stuff. But we figured we'd have you guys on to balance that out. a little bit. And
Yeah, we have nothing good disabled fitness. We know a little bit about a lot of things, and like nothing about any of those things that's any relevance to it.
And mostly we're just going to talk shit about people that work in fitness because we hate fucking all of
like,
them.
That's actually one of our
That's right.
only scripted question on here.
Perfect. You got the
Yeah.
right guys.
yeah,
We're the people that will talk shit and have no like actual solution to the problem. Like, we're just literally like piling on, but I don't want to solve the problem. I just want to make fun of the problem.
Our only scripted question is, who do you hate most in fitness, or what do you hate most in fitness? Name names if you would like to.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like
I think
the
you should
grind
start
your
off with
gears.
that because I already know I could answer it for you. I'm assuming Squat University isn't your third interview for this.
I actually think Squat you might not even be top 5 for Matt.
Yeah.
Realistically, I
I
think
hate
you're-
a lot of people.
I
man.
think going closer to home, you're gonna have to go. I mean, I hope it's not me, but I think there's
I
people
hate a lot of people,
you wouldn't-
man.
You wouldn't think of.
Why do you hate people? But actually, this is my favorite. It's like actually it's okay because I know your Instagram model is to make fun of people. I hate that no one likes each other and they're all kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
In different words. And I know like you can build a business around that. But that's
Absolutely.
like one thing I hate. I want to be like, you guys know your system is pretty much the exact same. In like, and then they're arguing over it, and then nothing actually gets done. And that's why I was making fun of Cass, because Cass likes to shit on a lot of people. But there's like these conversations don't get had because everyone hates each other, and so we end up having no solutions to any problems other than the same solutions we had. They just called something different. But everyone hates foam rolling, so it's kind of that's cool.
Do we want like a united fitness front though? Is that actually a good thing?
I don't know.
I don't think it's that fun.
No, it's definitely we wouldn't be able to talk shit. That's why I was saying I don't want a solution to the problem. I just don't. Like, it's almost like, hey, I wish like we could all come to like a conclusive thing. Like this is the right way, but obviously that's not going to happen, and I'm cool with it. But
See, and I have to be careful. I can't name names because, for one, every time I've decided I hate someone in fitness because of their Instagram or whatever, I meet them in real life and we're fucking like bros like 2 hours later. And I'm like, I fucking love this guy. Like, I hate everything he stands for, but I like him.
for example, Joel Seaman's a good example. Love Joel. Like I almost wanted to like not like Joel, but Joel was awesome, and like we totally just made fun of him, and he made fun of the fitness stuff, and like everyone's like, why are you friends with Joel? He squats with fucking bands and he's on 1 foot. It's dangerous. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, why do you care? Joel makes way more money than you. Who's to say he's wrong? Maybe he's right. Maybe when it all is uncovered, Joel actually had it right, and your squat sucks. I don't know.
And what you're saying is in like 2025 that we're all gonna have to bow down to our Joel Seedman and David Weck overlords. Is that what we're gonna be?
You motherfuckers are the ones that got me to look up David Weck's Instagram from one of your podcasts, and I went down that rabbit hole for like 2 solid days. That shit got crazy.
Jeb always makes fun of me because he's like, "You'll try anything." I'm like, "Yeah, obviously." Like what? Like not everything, anything. Take that off the record. I won't try anything.
Suck one dick.
It's like this guy can't be like. We'll say he's like over the top a little bit, but there's some things in there that are smart, and we can learn from that. So I just wish more people were open-minded, but I get the dynamics because it kind of pushes everything forward. But like, I like Weck's hilarious. Weck's awesome.
Dude, he's
so funny.
We all agree he's the best kept secret on social media, just from a pure entertainment.
Yeah.
So Jeb, I got to ask you, now that you've dove down that rabbit hole for like 2-3 days, do you think that's actually who he is, or do you think he's playing a character of what everybody wants him to be?
I think that's who he is. I think that he's created this single narrative that basically Tony Gentilcore and Dave Boyle called the Bosu ball shitty when it came out. He lost, I don't know if he lost money, but he's like, it's been billions. I lost billions. And he's been ever since like, fuck them. Like that's his single narrative. And then somewhere along the line, there was probably like, whatever, it just brewed.
I think it's got to be real, because like how do you decide that the boogeyman, that the thing you're going to rail against is anti-rotation? Like that's not sexy. Like you're not going to gain anything by saying that. It's just a weird like hill to die.
So much money, he can be honest.
In the bathtub scenes,
like those are the ones
the
bathtubs are the best. What do you think about like the 3 to 4 layers of glasses?
That's I mean, hey, I think the people that are wearing those fucking yellow glasses look crazy. So you add more on, and what's the difference?
Well, it's weird now. Like, and full disclosure, I like David Weck, but like he's taking his glasses off now, and I'm like, okay, what's wrong? It's to that point where it's like, what happened? Like,
You actually saw all the lizard people, so now it doesn't matter anymore.
Is that what the secret is? You put on like 3 to 4 pairs of like high prescription glasses, and you can
think
get
it's like
the actual lizard people.
Yeah, it's the Rowdy Piper.
Yeah.
They live or whatever. You know, he puts the glasses on, which is a brilliant filmmaking standpoint, by the way, because you only have to pay for the animation for that one scene when he puts the glasses on. You don't have to pay for it for the rest of the movie.
Dude, 80s and 90s special effects and the way they cut corners is actually one of the most amazing things ever.
Anything BBC too.
Really good.
Like Gremlins is basically is literally full of just stuffed animals.
Yes.
The entire movie.
You ever watch like, the old
the subtext
of
the whole subtext of Gremlins too, of like a dude died in a chimney and was rotting as Santa Claus, and this is a kids movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever a kid's movie.
No,
Well, that might be bad parenting. I don't know if we should throw that out there.
Yeah, a little absentee parents, but it was those are latchkey years.
He's like, I was drinking a beer and watching Gremlins. It was great.
I was like 7 years old. It was awesome. I had a great time.
I've never seen Gremlins.
Oh,
Dean.
Can I just?
Dean, I've seen Gremlins.
Should I cut him out of this?
Yeah, we should kick him out of the room.
Is there anything else I can have watched and be part of the conversation?
I mean, you kind of ruined the flow here.
Yeah, seriously.
Could you not have just acted like you knew what we were talking about?
No. That's the other thing I hate. I hate fake.
Just smile and nod, Dean.
You act like you know what David Weck's talking about, and you couldn't have pretended that you watched Gremlins at some point in your life. You could have been like, that's.
I don't know what David
so
Weck is talking about. That's the beauty of it. It's like I want to know. Like it's like that whole thing of like religion. Like it's so mysterious. Like I want to know what you know, and I can't decipher it.
Honestly, like David Weck and Dean, your methods of communication aren't that far off. No. Like it takes me like a 30-minute recall to go back and put together all the pieces of our conversation, so I act to know what we actually had a conversation about.
Well, Jeb, is that just because he sends you DMs in one-line messages for like 1,000 different messages, and you have no idea where it even started?
Hey, that's the Canadian way. You can't actually do that.
Well, like I need you to understand my thought process, so it's like
I picture every pause behind, like between the actual lines, it's like
That's probably true. It's probably fairly accurate.
Hey, Kyle, I just had a question for you.
I'm scared I'll lose the text, and then so like I need to get it out so I don't lose it on the internet.
But then you send like 75 DMs in a row. It's like I don't even remember what the beginning one was by the time I get to the very end of this bot.
There's not 75. There's like 8.
I picked up you added me to some message thread.
It was a pass.
And 30 minutes later, I got on it, and there were like 150 messages on it, and I just took myself off of it.
That was a rough DM thread.
Well, I was like, why did you add Kyle in? Because I know he's only going to respond in emojis, and he's not going to read this. And then it somehow got into Star Wars because I was like essentially alluding.
Well, because you steered the conversation towards Star Wars.
Yeah, I want.
You're like, I don't want to talk about this stuff. I want to talk about this stuff.
I want to cast understand he needs to fuel his hate and just say what he wants to say, which is I hate you. Put names down, and then do his 2-hour video on like why he hates all their stuff and what are they going to do about it?
I mean, we asked you guys to do the same thing, and Dean, you said no.
When?
Just now.
What?
I don't want to name any names. You and Jeb both like, I don't want to name any names. I like those people.
I don't hate anyone. Like, I don't even know who I hate. Like
that is the most Canadian route out of that question I've ever heard in my entire life.
I like what I hate. You know what I know? I hate those stupid Twitter posts.
I do them. I hate them so much.
I don't have a Twitter.
I got one just to do posts on Instagram.
I hate your stupid fucking block letter things.
Well, what's up? I will say, Dean, one of the best things that happened in 2020 for me, that not the best, but something that definitely just I had a small chuckle with, is you did one to make fun of it, but you only got like 7 likes on it, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Was it the morality one?
I don't even know. It was one where you literally were making fun of that type of post with that type of post, because it was in your ironic phase, and you got like 10 likes on it. And I was like, this,
and it got the like and the attention of the person. It was actually Jonathan Goodman's, because like the PTDC did one on They did the inverted. At that time, everyone was doing the notes, and it was white on black. And then PTDC did them on black on white, and I was like, "Oh, this is real fucking funny, ha ha ha!" And then John's like, "Ha ha." On my post, I was like, well, at least he saw it. Like I'm still right. It didn't last except for on Kyle's Instagram. And
Everybody loves him, man. Maybe just everybody likes me more than you.
So here's one that
like,
annoys me more than anything in fitness. And Kyle, I've got to imagine it has to drive you crazy since you just spent the last 2 years focusing on it, is that every fucking fitness trainer, that does some kind of inspirational bullshit talks about motivation and has clearly never read any SDT or anything. And I'm like, stop using this is an actual fucking science. Like, stop using the word if you're not going to define it.
Yeah, trainers branching into psychology in general is probably not a good thing, because most trainers are complete sociopaths and or have like some kind of like psychological trauma. Like, you've never seen more like body dysmorphia than walking into an actual training like locker room at a gym. Like, there's a lot of shit going on with coaches.
Like, there was a meme about that, Jeb. Is like, I just learned about this insert thing, psychology thing, and now I'm going to teach everyone about it. All my new clients. It's like, we just learned about it.
They haven't even taken the time to learn about it. I'm like, and I'll be like, hey, you know what's really real simple? You can even just Google this, look up self-determination theory. It'll explain a lot about motivation. And they'll be like, and it's basically like, oh, I don't care what the word really means. I'm just going to say what I want it to mean, and then I'm going to talk about it. And it's like, but if I said toning, it meant, leaning out, you would fucking have an aneurysm.
I say toning just to troll people.
Oh, it's
like I say core. Nothing gets people going like saying core now. I love it.
It's awesome. Like, especially in like the educated fitness field. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just do it to fuck with people. Like, it's amazing. It's like it's a mini troll that Matt and I play with people. Except Matt like has real trolls.
Yeah.
I have subtle trolls.
There's no subtlety in anything Matt does.
I don't do anything subtle. No half measures. If I'm going to call you out, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to tag you in it. So that's just how it's going to be.
You can be blocked is what they call that.
That's exactly what happens. It's like, this is what it is. It's like, what's your guys' block list look like? Who's blocked you guys? Are you guys in big deals?
We don't get blocked because we don't go for we do
because
you're super. Like I said, we go on podcasts and do it, and they're not going to listen. And then
that is one thing I nobody that we talk about is going to listen to this podcast.
Exactly.
No, but it's just like, I can make fun of Cass, but Cass like literally messages me and he's like, "You're an idiot." Like, what you talked about this thing, and he's like, "You're absolutely wrong." I'm like, "Cass, I don't even know if I'm right or wrong, and I don't know if you're right or wrong." Like, we're just talking. This all made up, anyways.
This is all made up. We're just doing shit, man. We're just doing stuff. It's cool.
It was like the half squat. Do you actually believe? I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was Ashley Muscle Doc. He's like, "What's this Joel Siemens term?" I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, it's just a thing. Like, they just put weights on and go up and down. Like, we made an industry about it. Like, obviously it's gonna. And it's the same thing with psychology. Now psychology leaks into here, and you want to really piss Jeb off. It's almost like you send him the question. It's like, describe a very complex topic in psychology and do it wrong, and Jeb will message me like, "This guy is an idiot. Fuck this guy."
Well, it's like Jeb, like,
so that would be half the fitness industry Jeb hates. So it's kind of like, there's no specific person.
See, Jeb, you do hate people, just like Matt.
The running joke is that like Dean and I are like good cop, bad cop, and I'm the good cop that everyone is like, oh, you kind of keep Dean in line. And then behind the scenes, Dean's like, yeah, no, Jeb is a fucking psychopath.
No,
Jeb just writes
all of
really
this is made up just to keep me from fucking going completely off.
This is the relationship that Matt and I have. Is
yes.
Matt is the nicest person in the world in person, but he's mean on the internet.
Yes.
And I'm nice on the internet, but I'm mean.
So
in
mean.
person.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. It's like you're kind of mean, jokingly, to like about me. Like, that's probably come up before, but I'm like, he's way meaner in private.
You should see the DMs he sends me. It's awful.
Well, it's like Jeb. Jeb has a really clean cut picture on Instagram. He writes very well, like very educated on a lot of the stuff. And then he'll message me. He's like, "This person needs to fucking die." And I'm like, well, I've never said that. Like, why am I the asshole? Like, I don't know. It's fun though. Like, that's where it's like, dude, I can't hate on anything because the hate. It's like what I was telling Cass. The hate fuels us. It's fun. Like, we don't need to ignore it. If we're all monks and Zen Buddhists, like, it wouldn't be any fun.
No,
there would be nothing to argue about. There's no contradiction.
There's no podcasts.
Matt and I's entire business is like just run off a massive chip on both of our shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, we're just angry people, and that drives a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But like, I don't even know who you're angry at this point. Because
Usually myself.
Are you angry because you guys have dived in the rabbit holes that now you're switching? It's like, fuck, I hate everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
That's
lot
me.
of that.
That's me.
Like I definitely, I don't want to say I dislike, but I definitely have a problem with anybody who's just that far deep into one thing and so absolutist in their approach. And it doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't matter if it's fitness or if it's whatever, religion, anything else. Like it's just like, man, like you drink all the punch, right?
You came back for seconds. You asked for
all
more.
the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Can you guys refill this, please?
And you added some sugar because it tastes like shit with just the regular. There's a lot of that. That's why that's why I mean, like, those are
what humans do.
But I love those people because, again, I learn a lot from the people who went deep into it because I just don't want to do that. Like, that's a lot of work too.
But see, I don't think you learn a lot about the thing. I think you learn a lot about that person's perception of the thing based on their bias. Like, I think you just learn a narrative is the problem, because we get that all the time. Like, one of Cass's favorite things, and I think he just trolls me. I don't even know if it's serious, but he's like, "You're a PRI guy." I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, bro, like I use like 5% of what I've learned.
That's what we were talking about the thing. He's like,
done.
he like called Matt a PRI guy in the thing, and Matt's like, I haven't even taken the course.
I've never
even been there.
I wrote diaphragm on one post.
One
Now
post.
you've labeled me.
Well, that's what it's like. Even if you take, like, that's what I mean. They're all. I don't want to say they're all saying the same thing because they're saying different things, but they're kind of the same thing. But
It's a different lens.
the whole reach thing and the squats and the front loaded squats, turning the Zerker squats. Like, we can talk about that, but it's like they do a reach in DNS. They just call it like a fucking whatever 6 month.
Yeah.
It's like, but then you're like, I hate the 6 month, or I hate that position. I'm like, well, it's the same position you just did on a 90-90 on a bench. It's just it's a different 90-90 than the other person's 90-90, but it's actually 3 month.
No, but
Like,
mine's
no.
better.
Yeah, they're like, but he's inhaling. I'm like,
Yeah, but this one's
you have
better.
to inhale eventually on the other one. So like,
Well, and I think it comes down to this idea now too. Is that like it's almost like everyone's like, there's no possibility that anyone ever did anything right before me, and you're like, wow, how did we ever get to this place where all these people were fucking jacked before, but they didn't know all this stuff? Now everyone knows all this stuff, and you're all a bunch of fucking pussies.
And everybody's gotten smaller and weaker.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
maybe.
but that's the other elephant in the room. They did less steroids.
Matt and I make predictions when we see like powerlifters go down the PRI route, and we're like, torn quad in 3 months and 300 pounds off their total in 6.
And we're almost always right.
And we're almost always accurate.
Almost always right with that.
Just wait for this person to fall down the hill.
There's going to be a lot of torn pecs coming after something that I saw on Instagram last week. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's just like,
Who would you see? Who's
but coracobrachialis are going to be swole as shit.
Yeah, they're going to be gigantic. It was a post about benching.
what is that? I don't.
It was about like don't actually tuck your elbows to like get more pec. It was actually just like flare them out as much as possible to get.
That's
more
how I
pec,
tore
more
my
pec.
chest every time.
Yeah,
because
that's how you tear your pecs.
I was like, I'm gonna get this up no matter what.
Yeah, your pecs are in a lengthened position through the entire range of motion. What could go wrong?
Oh no, it's perfectly safe.
That's definitely how you should bench.
But it's interesting though. Like, again, we've all been down that. Jeb's even been down that of like the low, high sensory, and then Cass will message me, your feelings don't matter. Got it. You don't like feelings. What? but like that whole thing is just like it's interesting because, again, we can see the negative of that, but then sometimes it's like, why did that work? But again, it works a different population, and we've taken this structure and applied it to something where like inevitably you got to be stupid to be strong. And it's like, well, they don't work together as well as we think they do.
You minimize range of motion for joint function, right? And that's why we look at that as like, okay, like that bench press is a sport specific strategy, right, to accomplish a very specific task. That probably doesn't mean that, if Joe Blow at the local Gold's Gym just wants jacked pecs, that a minimal range of motion with no concentric orientation of a pec fiber is going to get him that. Like, he's probably better off doing a lighter load, fuller range of motion for more volume and just applying mechanical stress, something else, right?
But that's reasonable. You're selling reasonable, which is like,
that's
what I mean. It's
sell.
not fun.
That's why
it doesn't sell at all.
Matt and I aren't.
that.
Good
I'm
for
like,
those
you
people.
said like your program sucks.
Yeah, Matt and I aren't good salespeople.
Yeah, because we're like, why don't you just do some of this? And like, but that's not like sexy and new. It's like, well, it works. It's the best stuff that we've done. Like
The best is when I get a remote client and they like have good assessment scores and they have very minimal prep and they're like, where's all the cool shit? I'm like, oh, you don't have to do that.
need
You should just train. No, but but see, that's demographic bias. Those are the people that follow us. And it's like, no, you're good to just train, man. Like you're a good mover. And they're like, no, but I can't feel like my left heel and my right big toe comes off the ground when I squat, and I don't fucking care.
I'd almost rather get hurt than have to do a bunch of prep.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I haven't done any of my warm-ups for like anyone's programs ever.
That's because you haven't worked out in 2 months.
No,
That's true.
my preps for squat are literally walking lunges. Like I just try to make it another workout. Like,
I actually like at my gym. I just get made fun of because I just go red working sets.
Well, that's what my trap bar deadlift is, because I literally don't have to warm up for that outside of just putting a plate on at a time until I get to what I'm lifting.
Yeah, well, after years of strongman, it was like the warm-ups at strongman were like, okay, warm up, you get 2 reps at 225, 2 reps at 405, and then you're going to do 500 for max reps in a minute.
Pick up that fucking rock over there and walk around with it a little bit. All that.
How do you warm up for the rock? Oh, well, I do a lot of 90-90 hemi bridges, and I get some good reaches in.
Posterior expansion, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That's my warm-up.
Get as bloated as possible so I have something to put the rock on.
Doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell. It doesn't sell at all.
Doesn't sell.
So that's what we hate. And none of us are still willing to name names other than Squat. We unanimously hate Squat University. Is that the case?
You're the one that named Squat U, and this is not a question to me. This is a question to you guys.
Actually, let's ask this question. Who have you been blocked by, Matt?
Oh, lots of people.
Let's name them, and then we can get to the core answer.
I've been most recently blocked by John Rusin. I've been blocked. Yeah, Rusin blocked me.
Oh, you were really mean to John.
I wasn't mean to John. John said that deadlifting was bad for your back, and I was like, "This is stupid," and then called him out on it in a post, and he blocked me.
I told John, this is how you have to use the hate. I told John he is the reason why everyone got smaller for about 10 years because of his articles on T Nation, and then I was like, "Let's talk about it," and then we had a great conversation. But it's
God, I kind of hate how you can like all these people.
Yeah, Dean.
Dean
bothers me.
I mean, Dean likes people to like. I definitely have a lot more reservations about people than Dean does.
I hope you know we're gonna.
If you base everything you like on what's on their fitness thing, like everyone's wrong. Like if you looked at yourself like 2 years ago, you would have been. We're literally making fun of all of us from like 3 years ago in the PRI world, and when we first and Kyle even longer. Kyle is actually, I know you're not a PRI guy, but you're the most PRI-ish guy. Like you're the face of it right now, and
which is true because
that's very true.
You literally are the face of it.
I talk more shit on it than anybody else.
I know, which is, but that's what I mean. Like I would hate everyone. Like I just like good people, and for the most part.
But are they good people if they're just like snake oil people?
Well, I don't like them. Like who do I like that likes snake oil?
I mean,
like I don't know.
Like what are you gonna call Seedman?
I don't know.
Like, do you think he's doing good for the fitness world?
I think that he's like getting. I think that he's doing more than most people. To be honest, I think he's very similar to your drills to some extent. I know he does that in his training, but like you don't. Like you said, you don't even do a fucking warm up, and your whole thing's a warm up. I don't think Joel all does that thing. I think that. I don't know. I think that he's sticking to his guns, which I can appreciate, regardless if he's going down the wrong hole or not. But like again, we've all went down the PRI rabbit hole, and we've moved away from some of those principles. Maybe at some point he moves away from. I can't say for sure. I don't think he will, but it's just like with all this stuff coming up, I think that it's kind of cool. I like people going down it because then you can pull what you want from them. But someone has to be the sacrificial lamb. Someone has to go look at half squats because we won't know if it works or not for us. So I appreciate the hustle. I guess.
With the podcast cover, we're gonna have to Photoshop like Dean onto a puppy, just because he is the puppy of fitness and loves everybody.
We need somebody who can actually do that.
Yeah, he is the happy puppy of the fitness industry.
Yeah, but I talk lots of shit. Like I wish we should like that should be the whole podcast is like all our DMs. Like I
just reading DMs.
It's like actually here's just a list of like our most worst private DMs.
Like I would say, like Dean like looks for the potential positives in everything, which I mean, in fairness, there probably are. Like, look, I look at Joel's stuff and I'm mostly confused, but again, there's a lot of things that I look at that leave me confused, and maybe that's my deficit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you have bands going like in opposite directions on the same force vector for the same lift,
it's the same color band.
I start wondering what the fuck you think you're doing.
But then Kaz does that on hack squats and explains it and makes sense.
Does he?
This is true. Yep, we did. So we did do that. We did do a bunch of like reverse banded and like additional banded hack squats. But here's the thing, though, is like if we're doing that on a machine like that,
sure,
it makes it different because at that point it's like overloading the top and it's super underloaded at the bottom, right? But when it's like a barbell and multiple bands and chains going in the opposite direction that are also the same color, it's like, well, what? You're just bringing everything to the middle.
Well,
like, what are you even doing?
I guess
but he also only goes to the middle, so maybe that therefore changes.
True.
But that's why
it's only a half squat.
We're getting into like quantum physics at this point.
Well, Cass has quantum physics probably on it.
But are we talking about Joel or Cass? Because my problem with Joel is he doesn't explain shit. He says, look at my article that's peer reviewed with his other articles.
That's referencing my book.
That references his other articles.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I respect the hustle, but he could have also not gone on the podcast to explain anything. But it's like his article. I went on his article, like that's what the whole thing was on. Oh, it was long, and like right or wrong, I was at least he's doing way more than fucking dude on Instagram who's like I went to and I looked at name a system and they're like now making their simple posts. They're literally more dangerous than fucking Joel because at least Joel he's explaining himself.
Well, see,
I don't think most people can explain themselves.
I don't think they are more dangerous though because they don't have the following.
Well, and that comes back to a point that I've tried to bring up before is that people talk about like, oh, the barrier to fitness is too low. We need to, and I'm like, so you're so concerned about the jerk off that just started at Gold's Gym training one person a week as diluting the fitness industry, yet you've got doctors selling books about diet that are just completely ridiculous. You have PhDs, Joel's a PhD. If you feel like what he's saying is dangerous, he's a way more dangerous person than the guy that got in with a cheap certification. And that's my thing is like, it's always the gatekeepers who are like, oh, the barrier to fitness is too low. But at the same time, it's like, why don't you look at your peers who are the ones that are potentially damaging people?
Yeah, that have hundreds of thousands of followers that are posting like terrible, terrible, terrible stuff.
Or a New York Times bestseller, you know?
I guess my gauge is like, and I'm saying this like truthfully, it's like, do I feel like this person is trying to fuck everyone over? That's like my biggest thing. And like, I can say truthfully with a lot of people, they're not even if they are, but there's some people where you like read their stuff. It's like, this is way too far gone. It's so I don't feel like that with most of the fitness people that like are kind of that we're kind of talking about. Like it's just like Chris got shit on Christian for the personality hyping,
the Braverman test.
But Chris isn't trying to fuck anyone over. That's his opinion on stuff. It's like there's a lot. I don't know. That's how I like them. Again, I think everyone's stupid. I think I'm stupid. I think that we actually all suck at training, and it's going to change. It's changed, and training's fucking made up, anyways. Like,
it is all made up. It's all fake, and we are all dumb. I mean, that is definitely a point that we can all agree on.
Like everyone thought, like the strongmen back in the old school days, like they were the only ones training, and like no one even knew what the fuck they're talking about to argue. They just like, yeah, we do this. It must have been way cooler back then, where it's like you're the only person in the industry. You're like, I'm the king. Now it's just, and they were just like the strongman. I just lift things, and like I'm gonna.
It's like Dean and I are taking this writing course, this ABT. It's Randy Olson's like, and so the guy was a scientist. So all the other people in this course, they're all like PhDs in like climate science and like all these things. And you realize like these people look at us like we're fucking Neanderthals. Because these people are dedicating their lives to like studying the like left fucking hoof of a mountain lion, and like something nobody cares about, and they're dedicating hours. They're not making, and like they look at us, and they're probably like, "What really, guys? You guys go and you have arguments over fucking whether carbs are good or bad?
They were literally like, as a scientist, if the sample size is like less than 100,000, they're fucking like gasping. I'm like, well, there's people arguing about studies on fucking bands around knees and muscle growth.
There's like 10 people.
Like, yeah, 12 people in the study.
Like,
and there's
so many uncontrolled variables.
Yeah, there's no control on any of it.
Yep.
Like, and so it's interesting because like that's what I mean. I think we're at the point where I don't think any of these problems are going to get solved while we're alive. And it's like I've almost gotten to the point, that's that Dunning-Kruger effect. I don't even care. I've learned enough where like I realize I am so stupid, and now that I know more people that are smarter in even one element of the fitness stuff, like Ben with nutrition, it's like I think I know like decent amount about nutrition. I'm confident in my skills. Listen to Ben talked on a Q&A for this course we're running, and he went for an hour and a half on like PUFAs and MUFAs.
Oh, did he go into did he do the olive oil talk again?
Yeah, well, no, not on that one. But anyways, regardless, he's like, I pulled like 100 studies this week because someone asked me this question. I made this presentation. I'm like, yep. Like, I don't care about nutrition.
Yeah.
I don't really care about it that much. Like, I'm gonna, yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm hovering so much closer to that. You know, it's like people ask me on my post, they're like, I see that you're doing like this variation of a bench press. Why should we do that? And I'm like, I don't fucking care how you bench press. Like, this is the bench press I'm doing on my Monday. Like, I'm literally just showing you what I do. I'm not telling you to do it. You follow me. I don't know. Like, if you don't like this bench press variation, you don't have to do it.
Well, it's like with hypertrophy. I love the idea of getting bigger, and I see the arguments, and it's like, okay, well, here, and let's look at this. And it's like, okay, so the difference between like 15 and 20 sets is like a 2% difference. I'm like, I could just eat another fucking chicken breast, like instead of fucking 5 more sets. So it becomes this thing. It's like what's statistically significant is not real life significant. And like you said, it's like you get to this point where it's like, I might as well just do what I like and keep doing it. You know, especially with all the high volume studies are the ones that kind of got to me lately. It's like everyone arguing about volume, and it's like, okay, yeah, and you know, again, it's that combination of volume and intensity. But like, if people aren't working hard, like, who the fuck cares?
And no one cares about all this stuff. No one cares about all this stuff anyways. If you go to most people that like fitness, they're not even looking at any of our shit or anything. If I go to the gym and like get super mad at this dude who's half squatting, and I'm like, I'm going to teach this guy. Do you know who so-and-so is? No. And he would be like, I'm squatting fine. And you'd show him, he might feel better, he might not, but like, it doesn't even matter. Why do I even care? And so it's like, but there was a point where I cared about how people squatted, and I don't anymore. Like, I do, like if they pay me and they're like, hey, I want to do this thing, and I'm like, yeah, we can make it better. But it's like our industry is so not popular. That Jillian Michaels thing is the perfect example. You want to talk about everyone's losing on Jillian Michaels. She's so stupid. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, this is my positive people. I'm like, Jillian Michaels is way more famous than you, and she's impacted way more people, and she's an idiot. That's how
how's that make you feel?
And this is how stupid the fitness industry is like, it doesn't even matter because she was one of the biggest losers. She has more clout in the fitness industry than you will ever have.
Anybody else ever will.
No, my wife literally read an article in, you know, some women's magazine that, and it's like, it had to have been Tracy Anderson. She didn't remember who the name was, but it was like 3 pounds will make you bulky, and you don't want, and you won't have long lean muscles. And if you eat over 1,100 calories a day, you'll be fat. And it's like, this is shit that's in a major publication, right? Like this is the thing, you know? And she's like, man, I just read some garbage. And I'm just like, yeah, you did. I didn't even think Tracy Anderson was still around.
That's what our writing course is about. It's essentially like the reason why it was created was like scientists suck at communicating. Like, they're fucking losers. And like everyone thinks they're not cool. And then when they talk, they're like, they automatically showed everyone they're not cool.
Yeah. And everybody goes, oh, they aren't cool.
Like they are not.
That's and then they proved it by speaking. Yes. And then everyone's like, this dude is like such a nerd. Ha ha ha. I'm not going to listen to anything he says. But you have these, we'll call them fitness communicators, but they can get a single narrative out to people, and it hits right at the heart, and like they have a bigger impact. So we suck.
Yeah, but honestly,
we suck.
Even within our like smaller circles, the guys who do it really well sell the stupidest, most inane bullshit, bullet-pointed garbage, and people and the best thing is, and this is where I always text Dean. I was like, because like there's certain people, like if someone shares a Jordan Syatt post,
the checks and minus the checks.
Yeah,
and
I will probably no longer respect you as a professional. Like bottom line.
Well, that's his actually main thing is like I got on the call with Jordan. Like I like Jordan.
Of course you
Jordan's
do.
awesome.
He likes everybody.
Jeb's like, if you like his post, I won't be friends with you. So now I can't like Jordan's post. I can't like Jordan's post, but I like Jordan. So now I just text him, and I'm like, well, I don't want Jeb to not like
But they're also hugely effective. Like at the same time, it's like I think it's inane, I think it's dumb, I think it's simplistic, and I think a lot of times it's just wrong.
Yeah.
But it strikes an emotional nerve, as you said.
Well, that's good.
That's my bias too. Boom.
But that's because everybody loves a simple story. Like the checks and minuses or the checks and X's or whatever it is, like all that is taking context out of the equation, right? And making decisions for people so they don't have to critically think like, oh, here's 4 things that I should be thinking about, and here's 4 things that I should not do. And now I don't have to think on my own.
Yep.
Well, and that's our main thing right now is like we're trying to get this high flux thing going, and we have some projects in the works. But it's like Jeb and I was like, we're doing this project for this writing course, and like, how do I make a single narrative? And Jeb's like kind of coaching me on it, like, no, take this out. I'm like, oh, this is the problem. And now I realize like the problem that we're going to use to sell the thing that we want with high flux is literally going to be as simple as everyone else's stuff. We just have to do a better job of explaining the context. But to get in, like we got to sell a single narrative that is a better narrative that we think. But again, that's hard to do. And like, we're obviously not doing well in the stuff that the fitness industry holds true, like the protein myth with Jillian. She sold a way better narrative, like, because the other narrative is protein is good for you.
Yeah. And you don't want to eat protein anyways, right? We talk about that with clients all the time. I had a client today, and I was messaging with Dean because it was kind of funny. She said, I'm having trouble hitting my protein numbers. Can we lower them? And I was like, sure, why not? Let's just do exactly what you were doing before. You can stay exactly the same way you were before, and we'll just continue to lower our expectations until we get to the point that you don't actually have to change. And
I'm the asshole.
You know what?
Verbatim, though. That's the best part.
That's exactly what I told her too, and she was thankful for it. But it's she was, because like people are masochists. They really are. Every once in a while, they just want you to.
Sometimes people want to be slapped a little bit.
Yep,
that's okay.
They do. Just a little light tap, nothing too serious. Maybe a little.
Fine.
There's a safe word. We're good.
It's carbs.
But it's one of those things. It's like, hey, like, if you don't want to do this, I can create a narrative that tells you were right all along. And people will search and search for the answer they want for decades until someone gives it to them, and then they're like, "This is it. This is the thing."
Well, even fitness, like training, is a simple story to just being less sedentary.
Yeah.
Right. Like everybody talks about there being like, oh, we're not into the magic pill, but instead we're trying to replace a week's worth of actual work and labor and
right.
Like everything we do is a simple story. Everything we do is a magic pill. And now we just have layers of this where it's like, oh no, you don't even have to train. Right. You can put like this electric belt on and you can sit on your couch and eat potato chips and you can have a 6-pack. It's all cool. Right. Like, it's just, that's the problem, is we've gotten so reductionist through these layers that I grew up in farm country. Like, it's like, I watched people literally labor 7 days a week for 8 to 10 hours. And it's like, they slept like babies. They were generally healthy. They ate pretty much what they wanted because they literally moved all day long and did hard work, and they were strong as shit. And it's just like,
I mean, my go-to is always like, not even football, because football you start getting into skill-specific things. But if you just look historically at wrestling, like there's a reason why wrestlers from certain places were just, because if you've ever worked on a farm, everyone's dad was always the strongest fucking guy you've ever encountered in your life. Like he could literally walk up to your entire weight set and bench it, and he might have never done bench press in his life.
Yeah,
But these guys were all just like baling hay, throwing hay, moving, redoing a fence, like these skill, like
chugging whiskey.
Well, my dad used to make fun of me in college when I had like summer weights, like for basketball. And he'd be like, I've got 3 cords of wood that needs to be chopped at home if you're that bored. Like, he's like,
like, you don't have to pay someone to get you to work. Like,
it's like, I got to
actually pay you.
Yeah. I got a bunch of
follow your Instagram now. I would love if you got
my dad's dead. Dude.
Oh, sorry. But like, damn it, man! Don't make me feel bad. Now, so it's not going to be cool for me to make a chopping wood joke on your Instagram. Like,
it's okay. Like,
that see, single narrative though, like it gets across. You want to bring that all around, but I don't know. You ruined it, man.
You know, what's funny is it's the pinnacle of our entire kind of abundance model. This whole flux thing, that is this study that Dean found about the Amish, and it was like that is the story, man. Like these guys don't get fat and they eat garbage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, and not to like always push it onto what we're doing, but it's like we're talking about narrative and fitness and like trying to do better. I lie, we don't just make fun of stuff, but it's like, how can you create a better narrative that includes things like hard work? And really, you know what it is? It's, hey, you can eat shit and be jacked. Like, and that's what the Amish do. Like, they literally like eat like complete shit a lot of times.
I mean, Matt and I are both big fans of the Hive. I mean, Matt was literally just cutting weight on 4,500 calories a day or something stupid.
Insane.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I can literally eat whatever I want. Like I'm still at like 43.50 right now, and it's great.
But that has to be like that's where we're kind of developing. How do you sell that and like be as good as Jillian at that? Like, not that say we're going to be successful, but we can't be any worse than everyone else. So it's like, how do you start to create that? And it takes a course like that to say, hey, you're going about it the wrong way. But everyone says that. We all make fun of, hey, everyone's going about it the wrong way. But what is it? It's like, how can you put it down to this thing that people want to hear? Because even when I was on the Iron Radio, we were talking about like Google searches because of the high flux, and the number one rated Google search for like exercise was like, how do I get jacked without lifting?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was the number one thing, and I was like, "Is that true?" He's like, "Yeah, I actually checked it," and I was like, "Mike, like, I believe him," and so I was like, "That actually makes a lot of sense. Like, that's what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with."
I've had to have serious conversation. I've had to tell like not hire and not take people on because they've said, I want to bulk, and I'm like, okay, what is your training like? And like, I don't train. I'm like, you understand that can't happen, right? Like you're can't build gain muscle without
you're just gonna
working out.
You're just gonna get fat.
Yeah, and they couldn't really fathom that. They're like, wait a minute, but what's bulking? And I'm like, dude, I was like, not only do you have to work out, these people probably wouldn't have to work out hard, but after a year, you're going to have to work out hard. Like, it's not easy. And you're going to gain a couple of pounds in a year of muscle. And these people are like, I don't understand. I read this thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, take some.
And I could gain 30 pounds in a month.
Yeah. Take some nootropics and fucking go do some more programming, dude. You're not getting big ever. That's one thing I do appreciate is Pat had my favorite Pat post ever was him just like talking about fucking nerds, and you're never going to get bigger, you're never going to get stronger because you're trying to hack your way out of everything and just give up and basically probably like go kill yourself or something after that.
Well, I remember, and you know him, I think, Dave, but I pissed off like Dave Rasco really bad once because I was like, I just don't resonate with, if you say biohacker on anything, like we're probably just
done.
We're not going to be friends.
We just don't have anything in common, right? Because the
guy I don't like
the entire thing, the entire prospect of like adaptation is, Matt and I were just talking about this, is literally trying to make things inefficient and stressful. So if we're trying to at the same time make shit easier, like what the fuck are you doing? Like it doesn't even make sense from a physiological perspective. There's nothing there.
So I want to stop because I found someone I hate. I think you'll appreciate this. I don't like Ben Greenfield.
Okay.
But
okay.
I met him in person, and he was either super high,
That's possible,
or like had like, I don't want to conclude what he has mentally. I don't know, but he was very weird. And then he does the biohacking thing. I'm like, it all makes sense. So I don't like that he was brushing his teeth with that. I'm like, this guy is weird. But then because he was weird in person, like I couldn't have a conversation with him. And he came in like a fur coat. So imagine Ben Greenfield, he comes to this party, pretty sure he was super high. Then he had this big fur coat on, and sits down on the couch and he's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, oh, like, nice. I'm Dean, nice to meet you. He's like, okay. And like, he would give one word answers to the thing. I'm like, this fuck biohackers.
Yeah.
And so I don't like him because he was weird.
You know, he's one of the only
I don't even hate him because of the content, really. He's just weird. And so how could he have a whole podcast? How does he have a podcast about all this stuff if he's that weird? Like he has to be, it's lies.
He's one of the only people that I've ever heard Mike T. Nelson say something even partially negative about. And that's
Mike
all
there.
That's all I need to know. Yeah, that's all I need to know is like if Mike T. Nelson, who's literally the nicest person in the universe, he wouldn't say something mean, but if he said something even kind of disparaging,
done.
You're a shitbag. Like,
Yeah, you
there's
got to be a horrible person.
yeah, there's
He is the
nothing else
litmus
there.
test. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair. Like if you like, yeah, exactly. Like Mike's my main barometer, not who blocked Matt blocked Matt.
Yeah, does Mike T. Nelson like this person? Okay, he does. They're good.
I mean,
We should give him a list of Instagram names to research and be like, hey, give us like who don't you like? And
yeah,
then,
tell us what you think about these people, Mike. We need
Yeah.
you to maybe when we have him on the podcast, that should be the entire thing. We should just read off names. Be like,
Yeah.
can you judge this person for all of us,
yeah,
please?
But
this person blocked me. I need you to tell me something bad
Yeah.
about
Do
him.
you
problem
like them or
is-
do you not like them?
Yeah.
No, but the problem is, it's like, do you really like them or do you just kind of like them?
Yes.
Well, because Mike's very similar to me. He'll say a lot of nice things about a lot of people. So that's where it's like, I feel like we both have very similar gauges of character. And so give me some slack because I feel like we're on
And
the
that's
same.
it. Is that a non-gauge?
Yes, I think that means you don't gauge.
Yeah, I think that means it's a-
Don't pull that. You know what I mean. I don't have to. We're on a podcast. It's not going to be edited. Basically, we see Mike and I see eye to eye. So
I don't know if this is going to be edited.
It's probably not going to be edited.
I
We're just
feel
going to
like-
throw it up as is.
I mean,
why would we
I
edit it?
I
These are real
started
conversations.
I started hitting record when we were going into Matt liking like sus memes on
Yeah.
social media.
Well, I
Like
think
that's how it's gonna start.
Yeah.
You can do your podcast however you want. That being
That's-
said, I'm like, you could talk about like the fucking concept of the week for the guests, and like that's just not that fun. Like what are these people like? I think there's more to learn about a lot of these experiences than there is about, hey, like that's like what David Gray. We didn't talk about all the foot stuff. I was like, let's go right for Goda. I was like, I don't want to know anything about what you do because I don't care. I
So
already read
those are guys that I actually do see. Like I don't care about Joel Seedman. He doesn't bother me that much. I think it's
Exactly.
funny. I do not like the Goda guys. Those are the only dudes that I've actually blocked.
I got it into the podcast.
Yeah, like
Dean had a hard on for those guys for like a month. Like
Didn't have a
everything
hard
was
on.
about
I said
He
like
still
they
does.
may be on to something, but they can't like communicate it.
I
And
said
said they're-
having a hard on for him means that you don't like him. That's
Oh,
that's an American
even know-
colloquialism.
I don't even know
Sorry
what
to have
the-
used English terms for you and Canadian sensibilities.
in Canada, like I have nothing bad to say. I don't even know. Like they're crazy. Like so, Instagram tactics. Like I make fun of Matt for like jumping on Squat University or whoever, and it's like you're a fucking idiot. Well, with them, they do it 10 times worse than all of you guys. And
Yeah.
Pat,
Oh,
everyone.
yeah.
Like,
No,
they're
you-
completely empty.
They
It's
like
crazy.
they like plant their own questions in like people's AMAs. Like, so what do you think of Go to people? And then they just tag all their friends
Oh,
and send it to
yeah.
everybody and get them all to jump in.
Every time I do an AMA, every time somebody sneaks a Goda question in there and I look at their profile, I'm like, you're a fucking Goda person.
Yeah,
It's
love it.
every single time. And you, Dean, you actually tried to tag a Goda person into my profile, into one of my posts. I'd already blocked them. So I clicked on the thing and the guy's name didn't show because I blocked him like 6 months ago because
I wanted you to be enlightened. Like your running is stupid.
Everything
just
you know
like-
is wrong.
I'm so lost.
You're
Well,
so
I
lost.
I like the dialect between
Nature.
like with Pat and like going into it. Pat was like trying to like pat them, like he's going to go through his whole like little thing, and they weren't having any of it. I wanted them to explain things in the way I wanted to explain, and they won't do it. So
Well, they won't explain anything. They actually
Well,
they don't actually
Spirals and nature and just look at the lines.
But I agree with the fact that Randy Moss, and like this is where it's kind of funny, the single narrative. But like I agree, Randy Moss runs amazing, and so does Barry Sanders, and so does Deion Sanders. I'm
But
like,
so does a lot of.
it's like
so does
I wish I
Usain
could
Bolt.
do that. It's so cool. Like if you watch them, they're not wrong. They look cool. I just don't think it's what they do.
But that's a logical fallacy that everybody like. There's Usain Bolt doesn't fit the Goda model, and he's the best sprinter in the history.
Fastest man
of the
alive.
world.
Yeah.
The thing is, he does. They
figured
out a way. No,
Dude,
they figured out a way to make it. Like, they just took the one video.
Like
At a certain point, he's in supination.
Oh, there you go.
They take one screenshot of
They take a
one
still.
video. They take I had a Goda person tell me that I didn't understand slow motion video, and I was like, "It's 2020, you dumb fuck. Who doesn't understand slow motion video?"
It's our patent pending technology. We
was
slow
like-
the video down. That's it.
I was
But like
what-
that's a great like I actually like
talking
as,
about?
as a social experiment they're really cool because it's like I said, take all the whatever bullshit, but it's actually cool to see them explain themselves because of that. Like you don't see slow motion video, and then they'll like post, we need studies, like there's no study but the wild, and it's like a picture of a tiger. And I'm like, I almost want to make a system about this to be that guy to like figure out what am I going to sell and like how am I going to sell it this way.
Worked for Kelly Starrett.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it worked real well for him.
The best thing about Kelly Starrett is people will quote supple leopard shit still 7 years later, when even Kelly Starrett no longer backs
quotes. Yeah. Supple leopard.
Like he's moved on into like all respiration based shit now.
Yeah.
And people are still like rolling around on their lacrosse balls like, no, supple leopard, man. Like this is how you get it done.
Did you ever read that book, Kyle? Supple leopard.
It's like, no,
you ever
like,
heard of it?
The guy who wrote that, like he's still collecting your money, but he doesn't even believe that shit anymore.
Did you look at his Instagram page recently?
And I met him too, and he was really nice. And the first thing I said was like, we're doing like this marathon, like the Spartan World Races. I was there. This is like all in the same weekend. I met Ben Greenfield, and I was like, I don't think you can do this run. You're not going to be able to warm up long enough. And like, he laughed and like shook my hand. And I was like, and then who I was with was Philip, which Kyle's met. He was like, why would you do it? I'm like, I'm not treating anyone differently. Like someone has to say something like he probably respected that a little bit. Like everyone else is like bowing down to him. Like
my only memory of Philip is Philip gashing his head shooting guns in Texas.
He came to Texas?
Oh yeah.
So actually Philip has a good story because he came to we're doing the mass competition.
Oh god, it was fucking brutal.
And so Philip just got invited by Pat because they were doing strong experts. And he's like, oh, you should come and meet Ben and all these people will be fun. So he comes. Philip doesn't even lift anymore. And then he like does the first competition's like max bench press for reps. I don't know what he threw up, but he tore his chest on the first rep. Boom, blows it out. Is like
blew out his
done. And it was so awesome. And then like we go to shoot guns and he takes, I don't know how many shots he took, but he blasted himself in the eye with the scope.
Nice.
And he had like this huge cut like right across the bridge of his nose.
Didn't represent French Canada.
He did not.
No,
well, I mean,
about that.
Like, have you guys ever seen guns in French Canada? Is it like allowed?
Muskets. They call them muskets.
No, that's right.
I don't think Quebec's doing muskets. They're a totally different world. They're communist. No one likes them. I like Phil though.
Dude. Phil was awesome, but that's
how you make a memory for people.
That was a rough weekend. That was
tear your chest and blow out your eye.
Dude, I feel
that's how you make an impression. I mean,
I also remember Dean fucking up Cajun deadlifts on that too. Yeah,
that was a good story because like, again, I hadn't known the whole thing. Like you guys did Cajun, someone lost their toe. Like I kind of knew it. Like I just didn't know you guys well enough. Yeah. And it wasn't like common knowledge at that point outside of that circle. Like it hadn't been talked about. And then I was doing the deadlifts with the same bar. And I guess it got pretty crazy and I almost cut my toe off. And then I dropped it. Ben's like, Ben canceled. He's like, you're done. I'm like, I'm not fucking. And he's like, you're done. I look at everyone's just staring at me like they saw a ghost.
We all had PTSD from.
Yeah, but it was weird.
Big Lexner like losing his toe. Yeah. Big Lexner losing his toe. That was.
Yeah. It's just weights. Like it's all made up.
It's all made up, but your toe is real, bro.
The toe is real.
Your toe is coming off.
At that point in time, I would have lost to beat Pat, but like I couldn't do it.
Here's the thing about anything mass: the game is rigged, and you will never beat Pat in a mass competition. No. Nobody ever has. Like that I remember outside of trip.
Yes,
that was trip. That wasn't a head-to-head. But
that wasn't a head-to-head.
Still beat Pat.
And Tripp's just enough of a genetic freak.
Yeah,
he'd still beat him. But it's a very low percentage of people.
Tripp's a genetic freak because like his nothing about his appearance or leverages belies the fact that like he is. I mean, just cock strong,
super strong.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You look at him, and you're like, yeah, I bet that guy's pretty strong.
And like, oh, he did 585 for 12 in Super League. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, he squatted 585 for 12? Are you serious?
At depth? And he's like,
and he's like tall.
6'3".
And he's tall.
Yeah.
And he's like tall. Have you ever seen that picture of me, Lexner, and Tripp with Pat in the middle?
Oh no, God, that sounds amazing.
It's one of the funniest pictures.
That sounds like that's like the Brazzers logo.
Yeah, dude. Pat doesn't come up to like anybody's nipple, and it's even like kind of shot from a low angle, so he looks even shorter.
That's awesome.
And he's out angled by everybody. It's one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen.
Well, like most people don't like. I don't know how many people have seen Pat in person, but like Pat is very small.
Yeah,
like it's almost like shockingly small.
Well,
like I thought he was way bigger.
He's the opposite of me trolling Matt for the entire last year.
Oh, it was awesome.
Everybody thinks Matt's like 5'7", like 210 pounds. It's the best thing ever.
For a while, there were people that even thought I was under 200. They thought I was like 175 to 180 and like 5'6".
Somebody messaged me this last week. Like, wait, how big is Matt? I'm like, oh, he's like 6'2", 270. And they're like, what the fuck? Just like he's a large person.
He's a big person.
Like he's way bigger than me.
So I follow a ton of bodybuilders, and my favorite is their posing pictures before like the Olympia, because you're like, this guy's fucking huge, and you're like, how is this guy 200 pounds?
Yeah.
And they're posing in their like hotel room and with the kitchen, and the counter is like to here.
Yeah. And then you see them get on the open stage when like everybody's doing the pose down together.
Size.
Like, oh wow, they're
all tiny.
They're all
That's
tiny.
The best is like when The Rock came out for 1 year. I think it was the Arnold or Olympia, and he was like congratulating the winners, and you're like,
oh.
Yeah, The Rock is twice the size of these guys.
He is massive.
He's
but
gigantic.
that was even like that's like Dan Green. Like he's the powerlifter. But it was like he did a seminar in Calgary, and like I thought Dan Green was just massive. I actually didn't know he was that short.
Oh, same here. I did one with him in San Antonio like 4 years ago, and I walked into the seminar. I was like, that's it?
Because I felt large. Like we did like stand by side, and I was like, how is this guy this strong? Like it just I looked so much. He looks like a little child.
Yeah,
he's the thickest. He's
like
got to
be wide as hell.
Oh, he's as wide as he is tall.
Yeah.
He was like up to here, and I was like, this is crazy. Like it must suck to be that short.
Well, then
that's why he's so strong.
They're so angry and they lift so many weights.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's when you realize like I have no shot at any of these sports.
No, like I remember like Pat and I getting into like a pseudo argument. And he's like, I'll always be stronger than you. I was like, you'll always be 5'3". Like, I don't fucking care. Like, what do you want me to say?
Well, I'm literally a foot taller than you. You can't hurt my feelings.
Like, this is where maybe Jeb has like imparted some knowledge on me, but like I joined jujitsu, like I started it, and like Jeb's like, oh, you're gonna suck. I'm like, yeah, like I'll try it really hard. In my head, I'm like, I'll be good, and then you kind of just suck so bad you get choked out. And I think I was talking to both of you on our podcast about it, and it's just like it really makes me realize that none of like this is also the Dunning-Kruger, like none of it matters. Like there's
being strong does not matter at all.
It makes no difference.
Fitness doesn't matter. None of it matters. I'm like I almost like kind of wanted to go learn how to shoot guns and kill people physically, so that at least at the end of the world I'd be fine. Because I'm like at this point I think that's all that matters.
Yeah,
like,
but my brother's a Green Beret. He doesn't even keep a gun in his house because he's like, you know, he always said, he's like, you ever seen what a gun does to a person? He's like, you don't want that in your house. Yeah. So then you're like, oh, that doesn't even matter.
And he's like, we're gonna get bombed. We're gonna get bombed anyway, so it doesn't.
Well, that's why I secretly did it right. I just bought a boat. Like,
there's a drone they have that can fire a nail into your head from a mile above Earth.
Yeah,
we're all fucked.
Yeah, we can't do anything anyway.
But here's the thing though, is I will say, like I told Dean, like being strong doesn't matter, but in reality, like once you get past like pure jiu-jitsu and you're actually just like, especially like no-gi, being strong is pretty fucking awesome.
It matters.
It's pretty fucking awesome. And it pisses people off so much.
Yeah.
Because then they go, oh, you're really strong. And I'm like, yeah, now I'm going to twist your fucking jaw off your face for saying that, you prick.
And I still beat you.
that's so you want to take that and put it to fitness. That's the, like, I deadlifted 700, but I squatted 700 and like, I can squat whatever I want because I'm stronger than you. And what are you going to say to that?
See, Matt and I have this argument all the time too, because I look stronger than him.
Which is upsetting.
And people think I am.
Yeah. It's
very which also is a totally worthwhile pursuit.
Yeah. It's like, hey, man, like you're working really hard to get that like 700-pound deadlift and shit. And I'm over here with my 600-pound trap bar. And people think I'm stronger than you, and I'm not going to tell them any different.
Yeah, so. Kyle's not going to be like, oh, by the way, he's much stronger than I am.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like, no, you're right. You're good.
There's nothing better than being like going to a party and someone will be like, yeah, like just out of curiosity, what do you weigh? And I'm like 200 pounds. They're like, are you fucking kidding me? You weigh the same as me? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, I thought you were like 230 or 240. I'm like, yeah, it's called just being muscular and not fat.
It's called not being.
It's awesome.
It's called being less fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
But then I'm around lifters and I'm like, I'm 200 pounds, and they're like, why don't you fucking eat something?
Yeah, bro, you're small.
Environment shapes context.
Yeah.
It's all good.
You teach that in your course? Like,
We
hey,
do,
surround
yeah.
yourself with like a bunch of people that are way better than you and bigger than you, because then you can just get down to the work.
Yeah,
Because like you're never going to be that person.
We actually do.
we actually do. We actually
actually
talk
do
a lot
cover
about environment and
environment,
demographics. Yeah, that's actually week 1.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, we
I
talk
hope you
about
guys
all
are-
that shit before we talk about training.
What, you're not going to talk about that in your podcast? Like, you're not going to sell, like, we're just going to talk about memes and then be like, yeah, we got to take Compound.
No, I'm not that worried about it.
No. We're going to talk about memes. We're going to talk a little bit of trash, and then we're going to
Yeah,
all
man,
right, guys, see you later.
Yeah, we like 10 people are going to listen to this. Like, I'll
Yeah.
talk about that.
Man, that's not true.
We're recording this so we can just hang out with our friends and talk shit
It's
to people
really-
and then post it on the internet. It's great.
Yeah.
I think that's a way better business model, because that's what we did, because there is no business model for podcasts.
None.
There's-
Unless
We're
you're
making
Joe
money.
Rogan, you're not making money off of it.
Yeah,
You might as well have some fun.
What are you going to name this one?
It's Compound Performance Radio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
name the episode.
Yeah, name our episode, because it like has nothing to do with anything. Really. Like,
Dean and Jen.
Yeah. Team Jen.
It's perfect.
like what are we even good at? We're just good at talking shit about things on, like, I think that these are relevant topics that are really pertinent to my life, and like they brought me great joy. Like just even watching Matt make fun of people on Instagram, it's like I don't know why I derive so much joy from that, but I want there to be
yeah.
Maybe
I
we
want there
name
to be like this battle in real life where you guys actually like talk about stuff, and like, and that maybe that's where this goes to, is like kind of what the cast thing is. Like, I just want casts and a bunch of smart people to actually get into the debate, and then I just want someone to like, they pull like in Anchorman where they pull out their weapons and they just say fuck it, fuck reasonability. And they
We're just
try
going to
to
fight.
Somebody has a trident and they go.
Yep.
And it will still come down to the person who wins. This is one of the best weapons.
I actually like the fact that I know all these people and I know their intent, and that they're all just passively aggressively talking shit about each other without actually stating
Oh,
it.
yes.
Like
That's the best part.
there is so many little, I mean, between the full range of motion, the fat grips, like everyone's making little digs at the other person, and they're like, I'm just making statements. I don't know what you guys think.
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely not about a certain person posting something yesterday that was exactly what I'm pointing at now.
I wish we could find some common ground.
I think we should name this one Puppies and Trolls. Maybe
I
we
think
do
so.
that.
That would be a good
There you
one.
go.
That would be a good podcast title.
Dane and Jen.
Puppies and Trolls with Dean and Jen.
I don't show you, like I said.
You're
like,
the puppy.
I don't
No, you're the
troll.
puppy.
You're the puppy.
Oh.
He's also the troll, though. Like Dean is like, but half the time he trolls people, and they're like, I don't understand what the fuck Dean's saying. What is he?
So
what
what
is
you're
really don't know I
saying
trolled
is
them.
Dean is a gremlin before and after.
I don't even know the
we are
reference.
full circle over
full
here,
circle?
my friends.
Came around to it.
Well, if anything, it'd be able to describe my intent on a lot of these, because I have people that get mad at me on Pat's posts, or I don't know if it's your post, but I'll like go defend Kelly Stewart, and like I'll get people like losing it on me. It's like, you don't.
Somebody
Like,
got
yeah.
mad at me for trolling, like subtly trolling one of Pat's posts in jest. And I was like, you're literally defending somebody that you never even met that I actually know.
I know.
Like-
You are not hugging.
Yeah, like get out of here. Like
But that's and I think this is what it boils down to. I mean, not to take a serious note, but like, isn't that kind of the thing that, you know, we talk about these principles, we talk about this guy and things, and kind of what you alluded to earlier, Kyle, is when you said that you're getting someone's perception of their bias, and what we get in these groups is not about a system. It's about a personality and
Yeah.
a guruism.
yeah.
And people just want to be. It's social comparison. They want to be accepted. And you know, in a room full of narcissists, telling someone, "Yeah, you're on the same team," it's like, "Oh God, I'm cool now."
Well, that was what we talked about when I came on the podcast. It's exactly what it is. They get surrounded and they get so into the personality of the person who's posting it. They don't even care about the content or anything about it anymore. It's just about this person is right because this person feels like I feel like I relate to this human.
Yeah.
We literally watch people share stuff that's completely the opposite of their own content
In sequential stories.
like just because they like the person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely guilty of like sharing. I usually think it's good content, but I definitely share things from people that I like. But they're not like super influential. They're like us. They're like,
You know who gets mad at you,
Kyle's
I
probably
think?
the most influential person I know. What do you got?
Which
Like
is-
2,000 followers?
Way more than that, bro.
Way more than that?
21 now.
How much did that
22?
cost?
Oh wow! I'm actually.
It cost him. He had to post warm up drills.
I'm
to
actually
his game.
Yeah,
Probably-
that's a big call.
You
He
have
had
to,
to
do
be
a warm-up
known as the
every
PRI
day.
guy.
the cost
You
of
have to
becoming the
film
PRI
warm-ups.
guy.
The scary thing is because Matt and I also talk about this all the time. Like, I'm probably
I know you guys
one of the only people that over 20,000 who hasn't bought followers. Like,
Well, that's why I said because I've talked
it's
to Matt
actually-
about it.
it's actually
you guys
crazy.
call people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you get like 70 likes on a post and you have 40,000 followers.
Yeah,
like,
like,
how the
how
fuck
does
does
that
that work?
Man, you sold your soul though. It doesn't matter. Like you're the PRI guy forever.
Well, that was me. Like when I started coaching with Kyle, like I started posting some warm up stuff because that's what he was posting, and then I got known as like the rehab powerlifting coach. Like, well, I just want to work with you for a little bit until I can go get really strong with somebody else. I'm like, son of a bitch,
Damn it.
motherfucker.
So now, and then Matt did his armbar post and he got blocked by almost every PRI
Everybody,
person out
every
there.
PRI person. When I took my
Well,
2-pound kettlebell arm,
Matt got kicked off. Matt was actually supposed to do a podcast with we won't name their names, but with these two girls, and they literally rescheduled like the day afterwards. They were like, so we can't do our podcast with you anymore. We'll let you know when we can do it later.
cool.
Well, like, see, would you learn?
I learned that if I do that, I can weed myself out of a lot of things that I don't want to do. I can
Well,
escape a
that's-
lot of commitments that I don't want to commit to.
Think about how many people are like putting themselves into these boxes of things that they don't actually care about because they want to get followers.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I focus on my like blog and YouTube stuff now and the podcast because we can actually get into stuff. And I just take things and repackage them and put them on Instagram. And like, that's my problem is I can't ever get in Facebook. It's a dumb like Kyle was smart. Kyle got off of Facebook early on. He was smart.
Like my profile's still there, but I don't even have it on my phone anymore.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
offline.
do not log on to it at all. I don't even share shit to
Yeah,
it.
it's definitely. I share it from Instagram and then I'll pop in there. And I'm like, oh, now people see that they think I'm on here.
People like commented on it. Ugh.
Yeah, and I kind of don't react. I'm terrible at marketing and social media stuff, but it's just I don't care a lot of times. And you're good, Kyle or Matt, and you guys will get into it with people and talk. Like I get like 2 comments in, and I'm like, I don't fucking care this much. I'll let you win.
Well, if you look at the ones that are the most replies on like any of my posts, it's me and Kyle trolling some random other person
or each other.
or each other,
Yeah.
and just making this huge thing that everybody like looks at and they're like, oh, that's pretty funny.
We made an entire thread that went like almost 20 comments.
Oh, that was fun.
Where we just tried to say the most ridiculous combinations of PRI-based terminology in the actual posts, and it got a good reaction.
It worked pretty well. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah.
It had me laughing for the majority of an afternoon.
I can't post anything about PRI concepts because then Castle messaged me.
Oh,
But you're a
Why did
PRI
you share
guy.
this thing? Why'd you share this thing from David Gray? It's wrong. I'm like, listen, Cass, like we're friends. Like this is how you like make friends. It's like I just kind of like support this guy. Like I don't even know if I disagree with this, but it's like I think Cass needs to get it, like message everyone and be the police of it.
Oh, he messages me all the time. He'd be like, yeah, except that doesn't work that muscle at all. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think the guy was trying to work just that muscle. But and I'm like, the thing about Cass is he messaged me he's wrong. I'm like, you're not wrong. Like you're totally right.
But
in your summation of it. I just wasn't thinking about that.
This
He's doing a good
person,
job.
this person
wanna-
might have had a different intention than hypertrophy. I don't know if you realize that people train for reasons besides hypertrophy, but they might have had a different.
I've
I
tried
said
that.
that and he
like
stopped talking to me. Like he stopped messaging me back. So I was like, oh no, he's mad at me. I'm like, I love you, Cass.
Training for anything other than hypertrophy or strength is kind of lame, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to do like sports. I'm always like, I'm gonna train and like really focus to be better at jiu-jitsu, and I do like 2 weeks. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
I'm gonna go back to
I just want to go to
curls.
failure. I want to do hack squats until I throw up. Like that,
Exactly.
I enjoy.
I can't talk. I'm running.
running.
I know, but like, you get made fun of for running. So I'm down. Well, I guess they don't make fun of you because you haven't. You're on that.
Where
that
do you
thing.
run?
Huh?
Me?
I have to run
Dean.
Dean.
No, Dean. He lives in like the fucking.
Yeah, run outside. I put my spikes on. I'm the weird dude in the.
Are you like snowshoeing?
How much do you hate yourself? Like, I'm running on a treadmill. Like, there's no way I'm going outside right now. And
it's actually nice being outside. Like, I don't know. This is where it's like, I was an athlete before. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Kyle, he was an athlete before.
Yeah, like, you guys wouldn't understand. Kyle understands. He runs. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Running's good for you. My heart rate has dropped. I might live a little longer.
I enjoy running. Like, I was a runner long before I was a lifter, so I don't really care that much about lifting.
Do people make fun of you like on your DM? Like, I'm actually interested. Do they like call you out?
No one.
No. Fuck.
Very few people actually talk shit to me on social media. Like, I don't get trolled very much.
Yeah, I don't get trolled very much either. I got trolled once last year, and that was it.
Here's the thing: the people that have trolled me, and you know this, Dean, like, I have no problem with the clap back, like, right in the comments. Like, I will eviscerate somebody on the first.
You're actually worse than Cass, because like Cass, like,
Kyle gets mean.
Cass gives the actual facts. And like, you are like very cold.
Yeah, Kyle just goes to like their profile and is like, nice bowl cut, douchebag, and it's like,
and like, people will think you're serious to me, which you probably are a little serious. But I'm like, I bet like he's not even trying to be mean right now. Like, wait till he actually doesn't like someone. Like, it's.
Yeah,
I'm not
a nice person.
Dean will call me out because if I rarely get trolled, but sometimes people will get like asshole-ish, and I usually try to find their worst character flaw that they are compensating for and point it out to them, and Dean will be like, dude, that was kind of fucked up, man.
Jeff's like the one shot. He's like, I'm going to literally like nuclear bomb you. Like,
I want you to rethink your entire existence and how much of a waste it's been.
Well, like,
that was an example, so no one else tries it.
Well, that was like one that I got in a little Instagram beef like 3 weeks ago, and like my whole thing, the person was like, well, you don't want to have a debate with me. I was like, no, you're right, I don't. I want you to know how much I hate you, and here's all the reasons why I hate you. It's like I have no intention of debating you.
Yeah,
what was
care
it about?
Oh, it was the meme page, the certified personnel truths guy.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I just want you to know that you're a bitch and I don't like you. So
that was a little bit of you coming unhinged.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Like, I don't want to debate you. Like,
yeah, it's like I have no intention of actually having a conversation with you.
None.
I just want you to point out that you're a power lifter who can't bench press their own body weight, and you should probably go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably where we're at right now.
Probably where it is.
But like, that's where it's like, you can reduce it down to that with a lot of arguments. Like, even if I don't want to get in debate, I'm like, I lifted more than you at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like, and I like literally just matched. Like, it was like, you're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Like, how are you so weak? I really like do want to know that.
I don't understand it.
Like, and if I just have better genetics, why would you even argue with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm clearly just a more superior human.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about over here? So
I'm really happy that are you gonna be one of those assholes that like releases ours like way later because like you realize this was not on brand and then like you never get.
No, I think this is actually like
this is pretty on brand for us.
I actually think like the more serious ones, like we had David, we've got Katie on Friday, and so that'll be a serious one because she's super nice and won't talk shit on anybody. Or we might be able to
we could get Katie.
I'm gonna go meet her for coffee in the next week or two. So I moved down here, and so yeah.
I forgot you were in South Carolina.
I moved. I followed your lead, Kyle. You said just wait. You're gonna go to Costa Rica and you're gonna come back, and New York will never be the same. I was like, no, not me. Not me. And then I came back to the world exploding with COVID.
Like, I gotta get out of here.
Crush someone's soul. Like she was a gymnast and she's a mom. And she's like super talented, smart, and strong. Like I would love to see her go off on someone.
We're gonna try.
She was deep in like a male-dominated industry when there was not a lot of women in it.
Yeah, like
she actually did. She wrote a post a while ago, like a couple weeks ago, where somebody went like super deep into like PRI on one of her posts, and she was basically just like, "You're talking about a glute and an inner thigh. Can we just use words people understand or something like that?" But the guy, it was like in the comments, like 4 paragraphs, right? Like he maxed out the amount of like,
it was like multiple comments because there was so much.
Yeah. And she came back at him with like a 4-word sentence telling him he was stupid.
And then she made a reel about it,
And
which
then
is
she made
even better.
And then she made a reel about it.
She's way worse than you.
Even better.
She does have there's a little fire there. So
we'll try to bring it out a little bit more on Friday.
yeah.
So we had David on, and we were able. I feel like David was pretty lively. Like, yeah, he's super serious, but we actually got him talking about marketing, which was
He was drinking though. He had a bottle.
that's
maybe
that's
why.
right.
Was he drinking for yours? Oh, he didn't. He wanted to put his best. Our bar is really low for ours, so we get you can drink a little bit on ours. I think that's where you guys go with this. Like, I would love to see. Like,
well, I mean,
you guys are really good at making fun of stuff.
But that's where these people, like the people that we have coming on, like they don't understand. They get on, they're like, oh, we're going to talk about some really serious stuff, and it's like,
you guys know us better.
I want to talk about that shit.
That's all I want to talk about, to be honest. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm so far past. Like, I told Jeb, I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with our high flux nutrition coaching thing, because like, if I get into fitness, like I've already like done all these things. I'm like, it's not even that fun anymore, because it's like there's so much. It's just too hard.
Well, that's why
I would rather just shit on everything, because I know just enough to like just laugh and make fun jokes, and it's so much more fun that way.
Yeah,
like it's the best. Like that's like I said, I'm upset because that's how it is, but it also fuels just this so much entertainment that I can't get anywhere else.
Fair.
That's true.
Yeah, fitness people and belief systems is a powerful thing.
Yes,
like just throwing your entire identity into respiration, like that's a special thing. Or foam rolling or whatever it may be. Like, people go nuts about
they are worse than the powerlifters who believe that they live and die by their total.
Yeah, in
my opinion, like they're well,
like your totals like this. That's actually why I quit powerlifting, because it was like it was Jesse Norris, I think, because I was vying for this like top 10 total and whatever at 198, and then like within a year,
and then Jesse Norris broke like 2,000 at like 181
by like 400 pounds, and I'm like, I can't. There's no amount of drugs or like work or anything. Like, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't Jesse Norris like 19 at the time when he did that too?
Yeah.
He was like super young.
Yeah.
Like, it's
but
like,
I look at these things and I'm like, I realize that like, I don't care about anything that much.
Yeah.
There's nothing in my life. And that's like myself included. I would not put that much effort into anything. But you know what?
Anymore.
No, maybe I'm just old.
That's like, I'm just old at this point where it's like,
do you have a unit on that in compound? Like,
just being old,
but like not looking like you're old. Like, I think that's actually a pretty solid goal.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
Yeah, like people, like somebody thought I was like 24 like a couple months ago, and I was like, oh God, you're
way off.
You're like a high schooler off. Like,
got these filters on these Zoom calls.
So like, how old do you think I was when I had my 9-year-old son?
Yeah,
was I 13? Like, I was 15 years old.
Yeah, no big deal. That happens in Missouri though.
40s?
I'm 38.
Oh, you're not. Yeah, okay. Fuck.
Oldish. Jeb's older than I am.
Yeah, I'm 42.
I'm only 33. Matt's what?
I'm
like
30.
20, 21?
I'm
You're
30. Yeah.
You can tell by his facial hair.
Yeah, you can see it's great.
You can tell Matt's 30 and like very immature. Like, he has like a gamer chair.
It's super comfortable, man. It's awesome.
Dude, he has
no
a whole
furniture.
He has a whole
I got a whole setup. Yeah.
No furniture.
Your mattress on the floor?
No furniture.
Yeah.
Is your mattress on the floor?
It's on a stand, which is basically the same thing. It's just a little elevated floor. I don't have a bed frame, none of that stuff.
Like, I wish you would post more about that, because then like no one, if someone was going to argue with you, they could just like, man, you're such a loser in real life. Like, I can't take anything you say seriously. In a gamer chair. Like, if you were like talking to them about like, hey, like you should use this headset when you're trying to talk about your kill death, like it would make a lot more sense than you talking smart on the internet. Like,
that's
gonna be the 2021 niche.
But
that's where we're going.
That's the joke on Matt though. It's like, if he's like busy during the day, like he's probably playing
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't even been in the fitness industry. You've been in the fitness industry for like 2 years. You were a fighter.
Yeah.
Like,
so like 2013, but it's hard work.
It's how many years has it been?
I got in 2013.
Yeah. Okay. That's a lot actually.
Did Dean like quit teaching like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, dude, how long have you been in the
Yeah, I haven't. I already left. Like, this is what I mean. Like, I was like, this sucks.
Dean was a trainer for like 18 months, and that
He's like, "Whoa, this is terrible."
No, seriously, it was like, it was because I was like, I have to do this forever. Like, I just liked lifting, and that's kind of where I realized career-wise, like, you can like something and it'd be really shitty, like when you actually have to do it for like teach other people. Like,
yeah.
100%.
Like teaching training sucks, dude. Like, because like you're not dealing with people who actually know what they're doing.
Well, that was why I got out of like martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When I started teaching it, I was like, I don't want to teach this to other people.
You just like
that'd be a tough racket. Like running a school like that would be tough. Like I my hat's off to people. Like I have my friends that teach like kids classes and stuff. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's like I just don't want to do that anymore. This is over.
Not to downplay what Compound does, but you guys like research and learn and teach other stuff, but it's like you're not day to day being like, hey, you need to kind of do this with your squat, and just like you have to, it's really difficult.
Well, and even like the people we coach, like they're all coaches.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so it's like even the training that we do, like clients will send me videos. I'm like, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
Like any feedback? I'm like, nope. Probably go heavier next time. Like that's like the feedback they
more reps, heavier.
Yeah. Like,
cool.
Just do it again, but better.
Actually like doing that.
That'll be $200.
Yeah.
I think we all like training in like small amounts. Like when I reduced my studio and moved it, like I only had a few clients. That was awesome. But it's like if I had to do that day in, day out, like you guys are both from New York. Like there's people who crush that. But
there's people who do like 50 to
70
70 sessions a week.
Dude, I was doing 200 sessions a month.
Yeah,
I was a zombie human. I remember I fell asleep in sessions at like 8 p.m. after working like straight from 5 o'clock.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like I would literally be sitting on a physio ball, like nodding off and like catching myself. Just like terrible.
That's life.
Absolutely terrible.
Well, that's like what I thought teaching was going to be like. This, like what you see in the movies. You know, like I'm going to change. This is the bad group of kids.
Kids are assholes, man. You're not changing shit.
No, that's where I got a lot of like my, we'll call it like thick skin, was from teaching junior high kids and elementary kids. Like,
I realized I would much rather like just have training partners. Like I would rather coach people who want to work out with me.
Yeah.
And be like, we're not going to talk, about that much, but
we're just going to lift really hard.
Like see what I do. You're going to do the same thing afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm gonna coach you through it because I like to do that. But it's like when I've been out and trained with Dean and like we were doing two totally different things. He was doing like kind of more. Ryan was coaching him, and but like the different ways we were attacking hypertrophy and like being able to coach each other through movements. It was that was a shit ton of fun. Like I love working out with people like that.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're training each other, and it's very like cooperative. I love that.
God, when I worked out with Matt, I just had to watch him like sit down for 5 minutes between deadlifts. That's
pretty much, yeah. Between deadlift singles, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
it's like 135 sit down. Oh, I'm tired.
I was like, are you gonna lift again?
Now he's gonna use machines and he's gonna set up and he's gonna bias the lower lat by making sure that he's got his left hand on the bench and his right hand. His like fucking testicle. PRI is totally stupid. Right. PRI is stupid, but hey, tuck your left testicle right there under your leg, and then you can definitely get all.
It's because your testicles are asymmetrical, bro. Like you have to. You don't tuck your left testicle,
Jeb. Come on.
This is the thing. This is the secret you've been.
That's why I'm missing that inch on my right lat.
Yeah,
that's why you're not 220.
It's that left testicle. That's all it is. It's holding you back.
Left testicle.
It's your left testicle. I am definitely going to write that in a comment on one of Matt's posts.
Oh, for sure.
You should go read about like pelvic floor stuff and like how to cue internal cueing for pelvic floor stuff. I think that needs to be in one of your posts for the respiration. Like and like pee and then you kind of like squeeze it, or like you're trying to like. There's one I read. It was like you're trying to take a pencil up your vagina, and then you're supposed to hiss it out. I'm like, this is like what? Right here.
What books are you reading?
Like, these are on these yoga sites because you go down the PRI rabbit hole. You're like, hey, the way they explain something is actually stupid because I have no idea what they said. So let's do this in common tongue. So you go to the people who don't know what they're talking about. It's like the yoga people, and then they have these cues, and I'm like,
but see, this is where
that better than this one.
Yoga people get like, you get into like culty weird shit with that. Yeah. Like you're gonna get some weird cues from that.
Oh yeah.
perspective. Like that actually doesn't surprise me at all. And I know no yogis are actually going to listen to this, so I have no problem.
Carson might listen, but Carson would totally. Like, you should get Carson on because he would totally he would make it.
That would, yeah. Okay.
Because
he'd be a good guy
with experience.
From what I've heard about him,
guys,
he'd probably just agree and be like, yeah, those are some very weird cues.
Yeah.
I gotta run. I got a call to get on.
What? He's leaving.
It's 5:30. We did start this an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
It is.
This is 90 minutes of us rambling about nothing. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Puppies and trolls.
Can we come back at
Asymmetrical testicles.
That's the title.
That's the
They have to wait to the very
That's
end
the title. Asymmetrical testicles.
Asymmetrical testicles and PRI.
Yes.
Dude,
what we can do, Dean, we'll just have them on our podcast, and then we can just do the same thing.
Just continue it.
Yeah.
The PRI guy.
We'll ask them who they hate.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll just make it all about people that have blocked Matt. Let's get we'll pull your blocked.
I'll get the people who blocked me. I'll try to find them all on social media, and then we'll just discuss.
And we'll invite them on. It'll be like
nice. Method is
secret
to
guest.
talk about. I'm going to talk about something that's specific to like I know Cass is going to hate, and we're going to talk about it in the middle of the podcast. Then I'm gonna rope Cassie in mid podcast. Now you're a debate, bitches. Cass, like, this will work, Cass. I can get Mike Israel on, talk about full range of motion. I'm gonna line you in, and then it'll be done.
And then somebody just joined the waiting room. Who's this?
Who is this?
He's like, propulsion arc, you said, Pat. I've got somebody coming off the top ropes on this. Cast with the elbow drop. All right. Well,
I got to go. I got this person waiting, but I appreciate it. Good talking to you guys. Talk to you soon.
Do I have to leave too? How are you ending this?
No, you stay. You stay on and talk.
Well, thank you. Thank you for. Oh, he left. He didn't even take the.
Man, I want you to end this. Like, I want you to practice. Like, what's the ending?
We don't have a formal ending yet.
No, we don't have a formal.
We usually say thanks for coming on.
Did you see how we started this podcast? Kyle just hit record without saying anything to anybody. We were just talking about memes.
Purposely didn't even tell you guys I was recording.
Well, you should have, because I would have said way more mean things about Cass.
Nah, we're still recording.
I want you to end it. Please end this. I want them to understand this.